guys, we are here. Shouts out to everyone in the chat. What's going on? Welcome, welcome.
Shouts to the chat.
Yes, welcome everyone to the Sending Signals Remix Contest, the top 10 finalists. I have my special guests here today, flowanastasia and Tyr Kohout. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Super excited for the show today. We got an awesome plan for everyone today, and it's going to be a fun show. So just want to shout everyone in the live chat for tuning in. Shouts out to New Gaming Chair, Special K, Jumanji, Shaki, Rob Noah, JW, DMB Academy. What's up? What's up to everyone in the chat? Omicron, what's up? Milky Way. Yes, yes.
What's going on, guys? I'm already at like full energy, like, yeah, finals! Woo! I have to
yeah.
Tone it down a bit. Hello, everyone.
I mean, you put so much work into making it happen. How can you not be excited?
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you guys so much all for being here. Super, super awesome to be here, and welcome to we got some finalists in the building as well. What's going on, Shaki? What's going on, Rob Noah, omicron? And thanks everyone for coming and just hang out. We're gonna keep it super breezy, super chill today. You can tell based on my tone. But yeah, we're also gonna do some fun little prize giveaways. So definitely stick around. There's prizes to go all around, not just for the finalists. So thanks again for being here with us. What's up, Digital John?
He's John.
Yes.
But digital.
Yeah.
So for anyone in the live chat who are just new to flowanastasia and Tyr Kohout, they have a track that came out on my label Deviant Audio recently, and it is called Sending Signals, and it actually came out on it's available on all streaming platforms, but I do recommend you guys to check out Flow's Audius page. Audius is a new streaming platform. They're just up and coming, but there's lots of potential for all you new producers out there that want to build a following. This is a great platform to build on because it's still new, and there's a good chance you can build an audience through this platform. And Audius was kind enough to support this remix contest. So if you haven't heard Sending Signals yet, check the link down below. It is available again on all streaming platforms, but you can also stream it for free on the Audius page, and you can see it up here on my screen here. awesome track, and it actually is the first track, first single off of Flowanastasia's anticipated full-length album. We'll talk more about that later, but awesome project, and this is a very dope song. The original, it's a very upbeat and really dancey, and with Flo's awesome vocals, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So if you guys haven't heard it yet, I encourage you guys to check it out.
Thank you so much. It's been quite an honor to have that track as the first single for my debut album. For you folks that might not know who I am, I used to go by the name Anastasia, just Anastasia, until I realized after 10 years that it was impossible to find, and there was like 100 other Anastasias. So changed it to my longtime handle, Flowanastasia, just earlier this year, and did a lot of vocal features over the years for drum and bass producers like Telomic, Galaxy, Enai, a bunch of folks, and it felt finally like the right time to put out my own album. So Stranger was super kind and generous enough to allow me to release that on Deviant. And so Sending Signals, and the reason we're here today, Sending Signals, the original track, was the first single from my debut album that's coming up, and thought it would make it extra special to put on a remix competition. I've never had my vocals in a remix competition, and it's always been a huge dream of mine to see different people's creative spins, and I'm so grateful we got 64 entries. And Tyr, I know that it was like one of your most ambitious music projects as well to produce. I think it had like 200 stems or something
it was like 212 or something like that.
Wow.
It's enough. It got to a point where, because I worked on the track at your place and at mine, and your computer has a lot more memory than mine, and so I kind of lost track of that after a while, and so I tried to open it here and I couldn't. It would just crash Ableton. So I ended up having to condense it a couple of times before I could finish it here. But yeah, it was a huge project, and not because I just wanted it to be like for vanity of over 200 tracks. Like really and truly, that was the minimum that I could really get the whole like package down to, just because I wanted to try so many new things with it. So I'm just really glad that I was able to finish it, and then not only that you actually really genuinely liked it, because that was the number one thing, because it's for your album, so it had to be something like it had to be the best thing that I knew how to do. So I'm really glad that you decided to involve me with it.
Thanks. For you guys that might not know, Tyr Kohout is also my vocal engineer on all my drum and bass tracks. So if you ever hear my vocals on tracks like with Synergy and folks like that, it's Tyr in this studio. So we're live streaming for this very special place, and virtually connecting with Strange over there on the other side of Toronto. So super cool that we can bring the technology together to do something like this, and to chat with you folks in the chat. What's up, Niels Romgans? Hello, good friend.
Lots of good familiar faces in here.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, the Sending Signals is actually the second track that Tyr and Anna have together. They actually have another track called Schema that came out last year, so check that one out as well. And definitely love it when you guys put your creative energies together. You guys have a lot of creative chemistry, and I hope you guys do more work together, because it definitely the awesome work shows.
Thanks. This is that's one of your classic online collab stories of seeing each other on SoundCloud about 4 years ago, and seeing that we're both in Toronto, and then the classic DM like yo want to collab, and then did our first few tracks together, and then recording my vocals was so much. There's so much extra value by recording it with you instead of in my bedroom studio with little knowledge and no equipment. So that sort of started the journey of us always recording together, and it made it extra special that the first single for my debut album was produced by Tyr Kohout. Yeah. What's up, Chris D?
Yes, big up Chris D. That's my homie out in the west side of Toronto. He's tuned in today.
Thanks,
so
Chris.
yeah, guys, we have an awesome show today. Again, we have the top 10 finalists for our remix contest, and I think let's just hop right in, and we're going to talk a little more about this contest. So
Dope. Sending signals.
Yes.
Signals being sent. I don't know what this is. My gun finger hands. Hello.
Well, you're sending one signal at a time.
So just again wanted to introduce you guys to the remix competition in general, and then what we're going to be doing today. We had started out with 64 entries, and so today we've got our narrowed down to the top 10. We're going to go through each track and do a bit of live scoring. We don't none of us know who the top 3 winners are yet, and so you guys are going to be along for the journey with us. Drum and bass for life, that's right, bad lucks. And so before we start, just want to give another massive thank you to our sponsors who provided most of the generous prizes here today. Those prizes being from IK Multimedia, Renegade Audio, that's Dubmatic's sample pack catalog, Cable Guys, Very High Energy Group, and then the top 3 winners are also going to get their choice of Flowanastasia merch and Deviant Audio merch. One of those being this jungle shirt.
Represent.
Shirt.
Yeah.
And then Tyr's actually wearing the Sending Signals shirt over there. Yes.
It's a great shirt.
We're all decked out in merch today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're in the live chat, definitely stay tuned. We're going to do some prize giveaways throughout the stream today. So pew pew gun fingers, Jumanji. Thank you.
And on a related note, I did turn up our mics. If anyone in the chat can let us know if it's loud enough.
Let us know. Yeah. Throughout the show, just let us know if anything needs to be boosted, if the music balance with the vocals is a bit off. Always let us know, and we can always adjust it for you guys. So should we move on to the scoring?
Yes, absolutely.
So just if you guys have watched our previous remix contests, we judge our songs by 3 categories, which are composition, arrangement, and the originality of the track. And each one of these categories is going to be scored by a total of 10. So in terms of composition, we're talking about the layering of sounds in a track, what kind of sounds are being used, what kind of melodies are being used in the track, how's the bass line, how's the hook section, how's the drum section, right? So we're judging the overall sounds being used to compose the track and how well did it work together as a cohesive piece. And then we're also looking at the overall mix. So not only are we looking at the composition and the different layers, how well is it mixed together? Because you could have a jumble of sounds and they may be great sounds, but it's all about how do you get it to sit together so it stands out as one piece. So that's composition. And then we're going to look at how was the track arranged, how did you guys deliver the track from start to finish, and that means was it unique? Did you keep the listener on their toes? Was it unpredictable, right? And then finally, the third category is originality, which pertains to the overall vibe of the track. What did the track make us feel? Did it what kind of emotions did the track make us feel? Did it make us want to move and dance, right? Because that's what music is. It's something that it's an art form that emotes, that kind of sends kind of emotional energy to the listener and makes that listener feel something, right? So what did we feel when we listened to the track? And also the uniqueness of the remix, did it take the original to new territory? So that's originality. Those are the three categories that we'll be scoring each track by, and in each category will be scored to a total of 10 for a grand total of 30 if you get a perfect score. But we'll see how that goes.
All right, and the 10 artists in this order that we'll be listening to remixes from today will be Rob Noah, Kavaas, Shohin, Theseus, Payne, Omicron, Colossus, Shaki, Onray, and Ljudas. So, without further ado, what do you say we start listening to some remixes?
Yes.
All right.
The moment we've all been waiting for.
Exactly right. Okay, Alan, you're ready? Anna, you're ready?
Oh yes, so we'll do a little intro of each artist before we listen to their track.
Cool.
And first up, we've got Rob Noah, who's also in chat. What's up, Rob? What's up? Rob Noah, real name Robert. He's 29 and he lives in a small town in Germany, been a bass music enthusiast for about 13 years, but only recently started producing. Before that, he was playing bass in a small band project he had with some friends. And although he was interested in music production for a while, he only seriously started when COVID hit, learned a lot through the pandemic, and was able to release his first songs on the label We Funk. Big up for that. We have a little fun / interesting / funny fact from each folks here. So, fun fact from Rob Noah, he was on the German national team for Blub Game, which I don't know what that is, man. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah, someone please clarify what Blub Game means.
Luckily, he's explained it here for us. In the Electronic Sports League in Europe, and they won the so-called national championship. Was it not real? Blub Game is a funny little online variant of the school classic Blobby Volley, where two gumdrops play volleyball in 2D. I feel like I've been missing out. This sounds so fun. At least in Germany, this was heavily played in schools during recess or when you were in a PC room and didn't want to listen to what the teacher has to say. I think we're gonna need to get some. I think we're gonna need to get some Blub Game going on a live stream at some point here, Rob. If you could show us. But without further ado, let's listen to Rob Noah's remix of "Sending Signals."
All right.
All right.
Ah!
Good.
Gunshots. That was a tune and a half. Wow.
Nice stuff. So,
man, now gets to the crux of the hard part, which is, I mean, these are all great tracks, so it's, we're going to be scoring them, but huge efforts all across the board, and big up Rob Noah. Love the track. I'm going to start off with just my scores in each category, and then just one piece of feedback, and then we'll kind of go around the board like that.
Cool.
I'm going to do an 8.5 for composition, 9 for arrangement, and 8 for originality. Man, first of all, I love that intro, okay? Like, so much suspense. You don't know if it's gonna be like a massive, like, hip-hop track that's about to drop, or like some crazy, like, commercial with a car speeding by. Definitely love, like, that kind of driving energy. You saw I had, like, bass face for most of the time. And I love that it takes a lot of twists and turns as well as something playing.
You have to make sure you hit pause on Ableton.
Yeah.
Little tease of the next track.
Yeah, exactly. So, my apologies.
No worries. Big up Rod Meisner, what's up? But yeah, I love that it's like a really driving tune. It makes me want to dance. It makes me want to bob my head, bass face throughout. Love that the both the first drop and the second drop unexpectedly gave me that bass face, because hello, bruh, is how I feel in emotion. Yeah. And yeah, just really love the deep vibe. So well done. Love the vocal, love the effects. I'm gonna try to keep it to under a minute there. So Stranger, what do you think, bruh?
All right, yeah, so that was an outstanding remix. Definitely blew me away when the bass dropped. So in terms of composition, wow, that's a tough one, because the sounds were so nicely put together. I'm gonna have to give that one, I'm gonna say a 9.5 in terms of composition. Arrangement, I'll give it a 9. Originality, I will also give it a 9. Just really just blown away by the delivery of this track. So I did not expect that hip-hop halftime drop to come in, and that totally blew me away. Not to mention the sound design of the bass sounds, the mid-bass sounds. The drums were super groovy. I like that dialed back. I guess you would call it as neuro, but it's a bit more minimal, and I do like that. I like how the sounds a bit dialed back, a little more finessed with hints of that grit, right? So I thought Rob Noah, you did a really great job there, and just arrangement was spot on with the keeping us on our toes, as you say, and definitely made me want to dance. That bass line is just a monster of a bass line. So great job, man.
Great input on that. I completely agree with both of you guys, and don't want to rehash what was being said. It's just really good effort from Rob, and you always want, like, my first worry when writing a track like this is, does the bass get repetitive or annoying, right? Because like a minimal tune, you're trying to rely on just a few sounds to really carry you through the whole thing. And good news here, Rob did a fantastic job of that. He picked that sound and crafted it in just the right way for this type of tune to be like a dark roller. Immediately, as soon as that like it started playing kind of further into that drop area, it was immediately like, oh man, this is going to be such a vibe at like 1 a.m, big club sound system, you know what I mean? Like 40 hertz sound system, just massive subs and that kind of thing. And yeah, you're right. It's the drums sound like juicy, but not over the top. They're not like all smattered all over the mix. Like they're just there enough. And yeah, it is written in a way that you could DJ with no problem, probably only having heard the track once, but you are rewarded as a listener because it doesn't just stay static in one place. I was worried in the second drop. It's like, okay, I really like this. I hope I get sort of a little reward for sticking through to the second drop. And then, yes, absolutely, I got that, and then some more, because like a halftime switch up, it can be a little clunky sometimes in the track, like, oh, okay, well, it's the same thing, just slow down a little bit, but not at all. I felt like the groove was still there, still maintained, and I like all the original elements he added in. So anyway, enough going on about the track. Composition is definitely going to be a 9.5 from me. Very well put together. The arrangement's going to be a 9 from me, and the originality, I was fence setting on this one between one number and the other, but I'm probably going to have to give the originality the exact same score as Alan. That's going to be a 9 from me.
Nice.
So,
All right.
great job, Rob.
Great
Yep,
job.
Rob.
Sweet.
Yep. Holland gang, German gang.
I want to just resonate with you about that. A lot of tracks out there, sometimes they make a halftime drop, but it sounds tacked on. But this one, it was fluid, and you didn't expect it in a good way. So I thought that was really nicely done.
Great job, Rob.
All right. On to the next contestant. So we have Kavaas coming up, and he's a producer from Hungary. He's currently studying IT. He says he's wasted a lot of time, thousands of hours playing the video game called Team Fortress 2. So shouts out to anyone out there that plays Team Fortress 2.
For all 5 of you that still do it.
Do you play Team Fortress?
I messed around with it a bit. It's a game from, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to get obliterated in the chat if I get this wrong. I think it came out in 2011 or something like that, or 2010. It was basically, there's actually, that game came about as a mod of Quake, if I'm not mistaken, that then got spun off into its own game using its own engine.
Tyr has a soft spot for Quake, for any Quake heads in the house. Is that what you're called? Quake heads?
Yeah, all 2 of you still play the game. There's actually been a huge update, so you guys should check it out. But anyway, yeah, looks like a lot of fun. A good arena shooter, as they're called.
Nice.
Yeah,
Colossus
shouts out to all the
2007.
Shouts out to all the video gamers out there. Kavaas also has a cat named Coco, so shouts out to his cat Coco, and shouts out to Coco Bryce, the jungle producer.
I didn't even put that two together. Yes. Let us know if that's based on that.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
Let's
have
hit
us
it.
in the chat.
Yeah, let's do it up. Cool.
Nice.
Good stuff.
That's bringing me back to some Electric Island vibes. If anyone is from Toronto, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, good point. I was trying to pinpoint exactly what festival or show does this remind me of, and you're 100% on that.
Yeah, you're way more likely to hear that kind of vibe in Toronto, Canada than, like, I don't think I've ever heard, like, drum and bass just, like, on the radio randomly, unless you're listening to, like, community radio. Dope. I was so blown away to hear, like, I guess, like, a tech house take on this. Is that what you would call this kind of genre, I guess?
Not an expert, so for fear of
I would
getting
say it's tech house.
roasted, but yeah.
Nice.
It's like a combination of some tech house with some EDM elements.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not really a genre that I listen to too often, but I really love this. Like, hearing it the first time and then hearing it now again really had me just, like, vibing. I think I listened to this once in the car as well, and it's just very, like, cruising down the highway. It was, like, such a vibe.
I remember you showed it to me. It's like,
it
was just like, we just didn't want to turn it off. Like, it was a really good, sorry again, my bad. I have to remember
little tease.
Yeah.
What I liked about it as well is that I often really like hearing my vocals, like, pitched up or pitched down. I think I end up getting a little bit biased to it because I just think because it's my voice, I'm like, that sounds cool. Like, this is how I would sound, like, pitched down or whatever. And often I joke about how, like, I think my voice sounds better when it's pitched and to the point where you can't hear my natural tone.
Yeah, so if it sounds nothing like you, you're a big fan.
Exactly. No, I thought that was pretty cool. I did like the breakdown kind of switch up as well. That was pretty unexpected and kind of gave me some nice light bass faces throughout. So in terms of scoring, I'm going to do an 8 for composition, 7 for arrangement, and 7.5 for originality.
Nice. Good feedback.
Stranger, what do you think?
All right. Before I step in, guys, I just want to comment and say something here that I hear on my channel and as well as Deviant Audio. We just want to create a supportive community. I know everyone has different tastes and all that, but what we try to do is be constructive, right? I know not everyone likes a certain style of music. Everyone likes something different. But if you want to comment, you can be constructive about it. Pick out what you don't like about it, and maybe even provide some kind of feedback as to why you didn't like it or how it can be improved. Because the community we want to create here is one that fosters. Oh, my camera just went out, but I'm just gonna keep speaking. But we just want to create a community that fosters growth, because we're here we're invested here to help you guys grow, and we're trying to do our best, but you guys also have to do your part as well in terms of supporting each other. So I just want to put that out there. I'm gonna go fix my camera, but while I do that, guys, can you just take over for the next few minutes?
I would mirror that completely, right? Because, like, it takes someone a long time to really get into the groove of making music, and, like, whether or not you think that 50 or 100 or whatever hours they spent on the track was something that you enjoy, just sort of writing something off immediately as being like, oh, well, this is terrible, this is great, whatever. Like, you don't learn anything from that, and neither does the person who made that track. So if you do end up wanting to give some sort of input on their track, do remember that is a real human being on the other end of that screen handle, and they'll probably read that, just because they're not in front of you, right? But just do keep it in mind that this is a sort of a people-facing sort of label and people-facing sort of channel. So these are real people who will read your stuff with real feelings, and it's not always appropriate to just immediately kind of decide that something doesn't have a lot of value, just without maybe giving a bit of constructive input, if I do say so myself.
Stranger, do you want Tyr to do his scoring now, or would you like to take over?
Actually, if you don't mind doing your score first, I need to take a quick break. So if you can just take over, I'll be back in 1 minute.
That's no problem at all. So Kavaas, the remix, or Kavaas, as we've been.
If any Russians out there that drink Kavaas, which is bread drink.
Yeah, it's rye bread in carbonated water. It sounds and looks just like you think it does.
And there's a piece of bread like floating in it. It looks like Coke with a piece of bread in it. Any Ruski, Druzyani, Russian crew out there, Anyway, now we're like hating on his name. It's a different name.
No, we're not
Kavaas
hating on
is
it
different.
at all. It brought us to a tangent. It's a fun one.
Yes.
Kvass is not going to be for everyone as a drink, but as a musical artist, I'm sure that there'll be a lot more fans.
Yes.
Anywho, the composition was great. There's very little about this track that stuck out to me as being like something that I don't enjoy. I think it's more, if anything, maybe I'm less versed in this, like as you say, tech house variety. So maybe it really grabs me in the right way because it's so not what I'm used to hearing, but it's also well put together. So I'm definitely going to be geared more towards liking it. I mean, I feel like the composition for me was easily an 8.5. It was never really felt like it lost my attention too much. The arrangement for me was about I'd say about an 8 for this one. What I would have liked to have seen arrangement-wise to take me up slightly higher is just a bit more variety, which is related to composition, of course, but putting a few more breaks and stops and twists and turns in the track would have made me enjoy the experience just a little bit more. But the originality, I would also say, is about, that's about an 8.5 from me. Great use of the elements and not just sticking to what was there, keeping it in the same key. Not at all. He twisted and turned all the different dials and tried to make it like truly sound like something that he made, and not just kind of like a, delete some of the stems, drop in my own kind of thing, like really taking it to another level. And I appreciate that kind of effort.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So in terms of the composition, I'm going to give it an 8.5. In terms of the arrangement, I will give it 8.5 as well. And in terms of the originality, I'm going to give it a 9.5. Now, I'm a big fan of tech house. If anyone knows me personally, I got into house before getting into drum and bass, and love going out and dancing to house. So this is actually my kind of vibe. Love the super funky house vibes with that kind of tech house feel to it. And it kind of took me by surprise at the second half when Kavaas introduced that kind of melodic component at the end. You don't really hear that a lot in tech house where there's a little bit of melody, kind of that synth melody. I thought that was really cool. The only thing I personally didn't like was how the vocal was mixed in. I think I know what you were trying to go for, Kavaas. You were kind of going for that haunting tech house, a pitch down vocal. If I were to provide some feedback, I'd say try to make the vocal. I think you could have brought the vocal down a couple more semitones. Perhaps you could have layered another double of the vocal at an octave higher, so you get that blend of the high and low. That was my only thing about it. Other than that it really made me want to dance. So really enjoyed the remix. Great job, great track.
Well said, Alan. Well said. So, if we're all feeling good,
Yes,
I think it's time to introduce our third entrant.
Yes, Mr.
Awesome.
Shohin.
All right, so Shohin, in his bio says, Shohin is a producer based in Wellington, New Zealand. He loves the 90s techie era of drum and bass and likes to try to add a bit of that era into his sound. He makes all sorts of styles of drum and bass and is recently beginning into more liquid sounds. But he likes to check out some toughness from time to time too. Relatable.
Yes.
And then we, as a reminder, asked Daddy Brown to give us an interesting or fun fact about them. And so Shohin says that he has an awesome 6-year-old daughter who was born with trisomy 21 Down syndrome. And that she's the most amazing, caring, and fiercely independent human being that he's ever met. Very nice. Who seems to be insistent on smashing a path through all the negative stigma attached to people with Down syndrome. And Shohin says that the most amazing thing about having a child with Down syndrome is that they'll teach you more about life than you could ever teach them.
Wow, that's some knowledge there. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Shohin.
That is no easy feat, being a parent anyway, but especially with the challenge like that. So big up Shohin for not only delivering a great remix, as I'm sure we will discover, but also for trucking through life and doing your best to deal with life as it comes at you. So We're feeling good?
Yeah.
Should we take a listen?
Big up Shohin.
Let's do it.
You changed the course. In my darkest hours, sending signals back and forth. We'll navigate through.
Good
All
stuff.
right, that was deep vibes.
That hit my heart very deep.
I love it when the outros trail out too. Like they pay close attention to how that trickles out. That was really nice.
Yeah, I think if the one before made me want to like get up and dance and drive, this one made me want to sit and reflect and be grateful for life and
Look at the
maybe
stars.
cry. Look at the stars, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely hit me really, really deep. Love the atmospheric kind of stuff, like such a vibe. Also really like the chord progression. I think it's like a little bit different from the original, and it had just a really nice movement to it. It was kind of unexpected and took the vocal a little bit to a different territory as a result. I really love that Shohin took a few of the vocal samples in there and kind of stretched them out or put them in the spotlight. Like there's one little line in there that's like, you gave me love. Not in that shaky voice, obviously, but just love that you like put like echoes on that and highlighted that, and then echoes on for us, like just little bits here and there that maybe weren't the highlight in the original track, but you kind of stretch those out. And Tyr knows this as well, I am a sucker for just like delay and echoes on everything and repeating and that kind of thing. So absolutely love that. I think if there was any bit of feedback I would give, and this is actually general for a lot of the entries, I know a lot of producers had some trouble with the vocal timing. It was quite a, I guess, unique vocal rhythm in a lot of the parts, and I found that a lot of people had trouble kind of lining those up with the rhythm. Shohin, you did a pretty good job. There were a couple spots in there where I would have maybe shifted a little bit of the timing around, but overall absolutely loved it. I also love you had some like water sounds in there or something. I clearly, flowanastasia, I'm a sucker for water and water sounds, so I'm gonna give an 8 for composition, 8 for arrangement, and 7.5 for originality.
Nice.
Nice.
High praise.
Yeah, I love the deep vibe of that track. I thought he did a great job, especially the drums. I thought the one thing that stuck out for me that I really love was the percussive section. The drums are really groovy. I love that kind of like, it almost sounds like an acoustic break, but like I can tell certain parts are synthesized or constructed, but it just had this really nice groove to it. It felt it was punchy, tight yet light, which is perfect for that liquid vibe, and definitely had that driving in the night, looking at these stars kind of vibe. I like that deep vibe. The only thing for me was it kept it on this kind of a steady vibe. I thought perhaps one more element could have been introduced to take the listener somewhere, but that's just me. I mean, it's still a great track. It has that groove. Other than that, I enjoyed it. So in terms of composition, I'm going to give it a 9. In arrangement, I thought it was a standard drum and bass arrangement, which is nothing wrong with that. It does the job, executes it, and delivers it. So I'll give it a score of 8. And then originality, I'll give it an 8.5.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree with both of your comments, and I'll also say that I'm a bit harder to impress when it comes to liquid. It's just not totally my thing. Maybe that's just because it seems like a lot of liquid that I hear kind of relies too heavily on its sort of, stock Ableton sound, like same chord progression repeated over and over type of thing, where it's like the percussion's too busy, or it tries too hard to be something it's not a lot of the time, and that could just be whatever I've listened to, but I don't think it's the case. But I think anyway, with this particular track, I really do appreciate a lot of what he's done here, and it was something I wanted to listen to like pretty much all the way through, and I would basically mirror Alan's input on that. I do think that the track would have benefited from having a few more elements change throughout the second half of the track. I can also appreciate that it was probably written this way so that it would mix well into another track coming in, because if the track changes a lot, it can make it kind of hard to blend another one in there. If you're doing these long liquid mixes, you kind of want the vibe to stay somewhat predictable and consistent. So that's kind of an approach thing. But for me, the composition would be an 8 from me. I liked the use of the soft swelling chords. I did like that the vocal was put into different positions, and I also agree there were a few ones where kind of butted heads with the previous edit that was before, and the timing got shifted a little bit off, so it took me out of the zone for a second, but very minor thing. And yeah, Alan, it is kind of just like a very usable DJ style arrangement. I'd call that a 7.5 on arrangement on my end. But originality definitely gets strong marks for me. It's going to be an 8.5. I wasn't expecting someone to be able to turn this into a liquid tune anyway, and then also turn it into a good liquid tune. It didn't strike me as that kind of track where you could flip it like that. But I'm very impressed at the effort from Shohin and actually genuinely doing a good job of it. So big up Shohin for giving us a great tune.
Yes, I love some of the comments here. Intense melancholy. That is.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
That is poetic right there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take just a quick little break here to thank all of you who are in the chat. Wanted to let you know that just to thank you again for being here with us on this journey, this very special song, Sending Signals, the first time I've ever had my vocals in a remix competition, and the first single for my debut album after years of doing vocal features for other people's projects. But we wanted to give you something a little extra special, so just a couple of promo codes if you were feeling fancy. We've got 50% off the Deviant audio catalog on Bandcamp, as well as 15% off merch on my website. And so that's t-shirts, mugs, sweaters, flowanastasia stuff. This shirt that Tyr's wearing over here. Yes, we got Strange up there in the top left, modeling the Sending Signals shirt. But we're gonna flash those promo codes again a little bit later. Just wanted to let you guys know that just appreciate you, and anything you guys do to even just be here goes a long way. And so thanks for sharing the love. On to the next track.
Sweet.
On to the next track. Big
All
ups.
right.
Barry Bunyan. What's up, Jason Story? Alrighty, our next track comes from a fellow named Theseus, who is primarily a hip-hop recording artist and producer. He's self-taught and has been creating hip-hop for 15 years. The Theseus name and project is intended to be commentary on the nature of identity and is a reference to the ancient Greek thought experiment, the ship of Theseus. Wow. Deep, if I may say, hashtag deep. Fun fact, he's not a full-time artist. He actually works on Ethereum for his day job. So
Wow, that's cool.
Super cool.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever met or known someone who works in crypto as like a full-time thing anyway. Cool. How are we feeling? We want to hear...
Feeling good.
Yeah, let's bring it on.
All right,
Bring it on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Out on open waters, you changed the course in my darkest hours, sending signals back and forth.
Separate them. Separate them. Separate them. Separate them.
Premonitions lean close and listen between us, no known divisions. something about us. Defy what time and space do. Couldn't replace you. I called and you came through. Regain truth, heal the cracks that we left behind. But realize there's times when you shouldn't press rewind. Some preceding scenes do nothing but stress the mind. Just invest with time till the day we're both dressed to nines. Flow together like calligraphy. Let love letters envelop me. Hang on to every word that you're telling me. Notes, scribbles, quotes, smoke signals our own. Covert symbols like origins of telegraphy. Conversations and constellations. It's a dark night, but navigate by starlight to the destination. First comes restoration, then comes preservation. Dispense with hesitation, lean into revelation.
Separate them. Separate them. Separate them. Separate
Cool.
Oh man.
All right.
That subtle sax. That's right, Niels. That subtle sax. Oh man. This is a really unexpected one. I mean, I think we can all say like adding additional vocals is totally kind of going in my perspective above and beyond. I will say, there were a couple other entries that also added vocals or like a rap verse, and I definitely really appreciated the effort, but I have to say that this one, I feel like the rap verse that was added fit perfectly. Like, he has an awesome flow, but also the lyrics were really thoughtful and really took the Sending Signals lyrics and themes, took them further. I felt that some of the other entries that had additional vocals that were added maybe didn't really fit the lyrical matter as well, but this one absolutely killed it. So I love that. I will also say, like, I was a huge hip-hop head before I discovered drum and bass, and so this is gonna hit my heartstrings because not only does it have that super sweet kind of hip-hop vibe, but also that kind of like I guess what you would call it, like future bass, kind of like that drop. Totally, like, I was not expecting that, and it really, really hit me deep. So I'm gonna give that an 8.5 for composition, 9 for arrangement, and I gotta give a 10 for originality. That's my first 10 today, and I think that deserves it. Man.
Nice.
Oh, Stranger, you're on mute there.
Here I am.
There
Yeah,
you
I
are.
was totally blown away by that remix. I totally kept me on my toes. Didn't know what to expect. At first, the intro broken and it broke into that feature-based halftime vibe. I was like, whoa! It took me there, and then it took me to that old school boom bap '90s hip hop vibe, and then the vocals, the hip hop vocals came in, and I was like, wow! And everything worked seamlessly. Like it took us from A to B to C, but it worked. It worked so well. It was just really cleverly put together, and definitely, like you, Anna, I love the hip hop vibe. It took me back to that golden era of hip hop with also that new school future bass kind of vibe. So I thought this really the musicality was just great. The little riffs and solos that he added, all these switch ups, and composition was great. Arrangement just again, kept me on my toes. It was unpredictable, took me to a new place, and wanted me to dance. So in terms of the composition, the only one thing I wanted to say was that the one thing I wish was that the vocals were so good. I wanted to hear one more verse, like after the second drop or something, to glue it all together and bring it back full circle. That's the only thing for me. But other than that, I thought it was a standout track. So in terms of composition, I'll give it a 9.5. Arrangement, I will give it a 10 because it was just cleverly done, brilliantly written. In terms of originality, I think I'll give it a 9.5.
Nice. Very, very high praise so far. And I think you guys had a lot of great points, and people in the chat were really loving it too. I immediately saw, as soon as we started playing it, the chat was just lit up. You know what I mean? People were vibing, dancing along. Special K was telling us he was playing drums while he was listening to it. That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like about this tune. I mean, really, the composition's probably the only one that doesn't get full marks from me, and I can explain why. There were a lot of things that weren't in balance that I had to strain to hear some of the other original content that he had in there, especially Anna's vocals. I could just barely pick them out relative to how loud some of the other things were. And other than balancing stuff, I mean, I thought the composition was actually very strong, and that's nothing that a quick, sort of remixing of the track couldn't fix. So I thought the composition was like a solid 8.5 from me. The arrangement was really cool. I liked that I had no idea what was about to happen. It could have gone any which direction, and it's still familiar enough where it's in kind of those two distinct pieces, but still takes you on enough different kind of tangents within the track to feel like you're not totally sure what's going to happen next. And I think that's that perfect balance when it comes to an arrangement. So that's going to be a 9.5 for me on arrangement. And the originality is going to be the first 10 from me today. And the reason is even though some of the few little balancing tweaks and whatever else didn't quite catch my ear, that I could ignore just for the simple fact that he really did try to take this to a completely different planet when it came to just how the track was presented. I like that the identity of the track still exists in there. It doesn't feel too alien from the source content, but still goes far enough away from that to where we can hear his musical style. And for that, that's an easy 10 for me, despite some small things. So very, very big ups to Theseus for giving a really good effort, giving us his verses and good production to go with. So.
Wow, stand-up scores. This is getting exciting, guys. I'm so curious how this is going to turn out.
Just a quick question for you guys. I'm curious because we had some comments in the chat as well. Like, how do you look at the art of the remix, of how close should it be to the original? Like, when is it no longer a remix and too far from the source content? I know that's probably hard to say and maybe a bit subjective, but just kind of curious how you're thinking about it.
Well, and that is a good question for the chat too. I'd love to see them take their input on it. It's kind of the old parable of replacing every plank on the ship until... How do you count at what point you've replaced all the planks? Is it a different ship? I don't know, and I don't think you can answer that. Is 49.999% original, and then anything even over that is not. I thought that it struck me as being in the area of the original, but it did deviate quite far away from the progression of the original. But the thing is that if it stays true to how the original is, a little more than probably 60%, I would say, like as far as how it's laid out, it's not really going to feel like a remix anymore. It's just going to be the same track, but with the elements flipped around. And I realize that probably sounds like, semantics at that point, like what really is a remix. And yeah, you could just mute one of the channels and call that a remix too. But I think in this case it still constitutes a remix, being that it was clearly, and actually using some elements I didn't hear anyone else use so far, like some of those reverb eighth note stutters. No one else thought to turn those up super high. I like that because it's like that's attention to detail and like respecting the source content enough to want to show off the things that were otherwise like a negative 50 or whatever in the mix. Like you really wanted to put some more subtle elements in there. So there's more than you might think that actually I heard in there as production elements. I thought, oh, that's cool. I'm glad that he actually found inspiration from that. Like it was a 2-second little detail. Gotcha. But my 2 cents, I might just be rambling, but it's a hard question to answer.
We can do a whole another live stream on the theory and philosophy of remixing.
I just put a poll out there just to see what the audience is thinking. We have 18 votes now that think that yes, it should still be considered a remix, even if it takes it super out there. As long as you still respect the original, intent of the track. I mean, the vocals were still there, so I say it's a remix.
Heavy dosage remixes, nice, special K.
Sweet.
Awesome. All right. Well, we've got our contestant number 5, Mr. Aaron Payne.
All right, Mr. Aaron Payne. This is his second appearance in our contest. So he's out from Vancouver, Canada, and he actually does a range of drum and bass sounds. He's been DJing since the 2008 and has shared the stage with greats like Andy C, DJ Hype, Dimension, and lots more. So he's been out there promoting drum and bass for a while now. He started a production company called 170 Plus Productions, putting out events out in Vancouver, and he's trying to focus on pushing a new generation of talent out there. So definitely shouts out to all the promoters out there putting their work out and trying to elevate and push this community and push this culture. It's like it's this industry and this community. There's many players in here, and everyone's needed in order for it to thrive. So shouts to anyone that's in the promotion game. And so Payne recently has shifted his focus on production, and he's got a ton of originals and remixes, which you can check out on his social media and SoundCloud pages. You can find the links down below. Fun fact about Aaron Payne: he can't sleep without earplugs, and I can definitely relate to that because I live out here in Toronto, downtown, and it does get noisy late at night. You hear the traffic and all that, so I can definitely appreciate that. All right, Tyr, let's hit the track.
Yeah, let's do it up. Great way to introduce. Thank you, Alan. Without further ado.
Out on open road.
Nice. Ooh.
Sick. Oh man, big up Aaron Payne. Thanks for joining us, and thanks
Yes,
for playing
big
it
up,
out at
Aaron.
an event. What's that like? I still
Yeah.
haven't been to an event since before the pandemic.
That's
so,
true.
You would have heard it before I would have on a sound system. But thanks for saying that too, because one of my pieces of feedback as well was like, I feel like this would sound really sick on a sound system.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a nice one that would also fit well like inside of a mix, like in not the first or last track, but sort of somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I really like the bass. I think that's what hit me if I was like on a dance floor for sure. Absolutely love the halftime kind of switch up that you did. I think there was one before the breakdown and then one towards the end. I would definitely love to hear more of that kind of switch up stuff throughout to change up the arrangement a little bit. But I really love that you used a bunch of cool effects in there that were sort of in the originals, and then you kind of explored your creativity in those as well. And I loved hearing Tyr's harmonies, vocal harmonies in the mix there as well. For those of you who might not know, some of the harmonies in the original track was actually Tyr singing, and you can't really tell in the original because it's kind of, you know, in the mix with mine as well. But I love that Aaron Payne, as well as a few others, took those and kind of put those in the spotlight so that you could really hear this guy's beautiful voice and harmonies. Yeah, I think my only other piece of feedback really would be just the vocal timing. Again, this is something that I know that a lot of producers had a little bit of trouble with, which was getting the vocal, like kind of the unique rhythms to line up perfectly with whatever rhythm was happening, or not even perfectly, but more just kind of like better lined up with the rhythm. So I know a lot of people had trouble with that. I think this one has a bit of room for improvement in terms of the vocal timing as well. But overall, absolutely loved it. Thank you so much, Aaron. I'm going to do a 7.5 for composition, 7 for arrangement, and 7.5 for originality as well.
Nice.
Aaron Payne.
Yes, big up Aaron. Yeah, love that vibe. Big fan of like deep rollers like that. Definitely kind of like that exit recordings vibe. Even stuff that Jamari does. I think something like that would mix really well with this track as well. So yeah, shouts out to Jamari, by the way. Yeah, just that was another thing. I agree with Flo there. The overall, that bass line was what really pulled me in. That deep kind of deep driving bass line. Enjoyed that. Drums were nice and groovy. Again, execution delivery was great. It's a little more standard in terms of a drum and bass arrangement, but it did the job. I did notice some of those halftime segments as well, kind of a signature to your sound now, Aaron, I think. So definitely like that. Keeps it interesting. So yeah, overall, I like the vibe, and I do agree this would be one of those tracks that would sound good on like a heavy sound system. So nice that you played it out the other night, and glad it got good reception. So in terms of composition, I will give it an 8.5. Arrangement, I'll give it an 8, and then originality will be an 8.5.
Nice. High praise. Awesome. Yes, I would mirror, as usual, both of your comments. I think you're both insightful people, so not to belabor the point, but the backing track itself, if the vocals were muted, that would be really good, I think. For me, though, the arrangement and timing of the vocals was off by some odd interval where it just sounded like it wasn't beat matched to the track almost most of the time. It didn't quite sound like it was on time, and yeah, I think it was something that some producers had some difficulty with, because we didn't make it easy. That's for sure, because we would start on like weird triplets and tied notes and that kind of thing.
Sorry.
Oh, wow, keep them on their toes.
But it was there, and some people did manage to work around it. And so in this case, I wish it didn't take me out of the track as much as it did, but it really kind of. It was too jarring for me when the vocals weren't hitting on a rhythm, so I couldn't help but just listen to that instead of getting focused on the track itself. Like when one thing really sticks, it's the rusty, or whatever, the squeaky wheel, rusty, who knows. But anyway, all right, well, anywho, yeah, and I was trying to figure out what that counts as, if that's composition or arrangement. That's kind of both, but I would argue it's more arrangement than it is composition. But if I was just looking at the track in and of itself, timing issues aside, I still do think that the composition's an 8.5 because there's a lot of good elements in there. Like the track itself is solid, and I like where the percussion is doing. I heard some like classic drum machine type of hi-hats in there, and I like that the bass had like a good texture to it, as full, as deep, as rich. I didn't hate the track. Like it was really just I want to impress the point of having good timing on vocals, because we're so tuned as people to hear vocals. It's really going to distract you if that particular element isn't like super on, and we've probably heard the original track 100 times, so we can't help but notice that. So for me, it really negatively impacted the composition, the arrangement for me, so that's going to be a 6. The originality was good, and I would mirror Alan's comment. It's a good DJ-friendly arrangement. I think there was absolutely nothing wrong with that, and so I think this would be a tune that would work well in like a set or a mix, and would blend between other tracks and complement them, because the texture doesn't reach so far above something else that it would never mix or blend or what have you. So I would call the original an 8. So nice work, Aaron.
Nice.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to a little segment here right now. We're going to be doing some giveaways in the live chat. So if anyone is interested in winning a prize today, we're going to be giving out, the shirt that flowanastasia is wearing right now, designed by yours truly. Actually, you can choose between the camo style shirt or the floral design that I did last year, but whatever you wish. We have different colors. We have black, navy, gray, white, even a nice hot pink for anyone that's into that as well. And so if you guys want to win a jungle shirt, we'll be choosing one winner randomly. And all you need to do to win is just type the word jungle full caps in the live chat, and I will select a winner randomly in a few minutes.
Sweet. Good luck, everybody. It's a great shirt.
Jungle.
It's comfortable. You'll make so many new friends wearing a jungle shirt.
Jungle Bungle. Michael Brady.
Oh, by the way, I have a random a selector tool for StreamYard, so I forgot to mention that. So we'll do that live on my end once we get a couple of. I guess I'll put a timer on. How much time should we give them?
Maybe another minute.
A couple minutes,
Yeah, sure. All right. So guys, if you want to win a shirt, make sure you type in jungle all caps.
And
make sure you get the spell. Yeah. And make sure you get the spelling correct, because if the spelling is not correct, it'll be disqualified. So.
Although I do love jungle, as
Yeah.
Tucker Smith says.
Jungle.
Big
I
up
like jungle too.
Jungle is massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, you only have to enter it one time, because multiple entries don't increase your chances. So once you've already entered, just hang out, relax. We'll see who wins.
5 tracks in. This is tough. You guys can imagine how tough it was to get down from 64 entries to these 10, and then just going through these 10 in even further detail is pretty. It's so. I mean, this is really special for me. I just want to reiterate that, being the first track for my debut album, first time my vocals are in a remix competition, and to have, just really creative takes and people putting in time and effort and stuff is like, I really appreciate everybody's time and, efforts in putting time into a track that you never know if it's gonna, end up getting released or anything like that. But, yeah, I mean, for those who didn't make it into the top 10, definitely feel free to, pop those onto your SoundCloud or share it with friends. Hopefully you had some fun with it, learned something along the way. And thanks everyone for joining us in the chat. I mean, this is super. We're just trying to keep it chill, keep it junglist vibes, give away some free stuff. Yeah.
All right, so I think the entries are in, so I'm gonna just collect all the comments, and then we'll see who gets the prize. So we have 23 entries. So
all right, here we go.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah. All right.
Analyzing.
Good. Analyzing.
Let's see.
Jungle.
Oh, it even goes on like a
Jungle.
S curve.
It
It slows down.
Oh,
K-Bat.
K-Bat.
Triple T.
You are the winner, K-Bat. So
You
Yeah, so-
are going to be so much more fashionable now.
Yes.
So Kvat, the instructions are down in the ticker. All you have to do is just contact deviantxaudio@gmail.com and let them know who you are, and then we will sort the prize out. So I'll just enter that in the live chat. So you have the
Awesome.
address. Okay.
K-Bat, you get to win this shirt. It's not this specific one that I'm currently sweating in. You can
Yeah,
pick
we
a
won't
fresh
give that one away. But
Yeah. Well, we'll get a fresh one for you for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll at least wash it.
Yeah.
Rep it hard. Thank you, Thought. All right.
All right.
Next up.
Cool. So we got Omicron, a returning name to the Deviant sphere.
This is true.
They did a great remix the last competition. I was very pleasantly surprised to see that they wanted to give it a go this time. So, for their bio, Omicron is a duo consisting of Jürgen Unafossa and Stefan Schaufler.
Nice.
And they're emergent and striving producers, mainly focusing on drum and bass. They're both born and raised in Austria, a hotbed of great neurofunk. And their passion for drum and bass was inevitably influenced by some of the biggest names in the genre. I wonder who.
Memphis.
Yeah, but no, they've definitely got their own sound, so I'm not going to just say that they're this, that, whatever, carbon copy. That's not even close to true. They've got a great thing going. And their interesting and fun fact is that there are no kangaroos in Austria. I can't imagine anyone wouldn't know this, but just for clarity, Austria and Australia are indeed a few thousand kilometers apart and have an inverted seasons.
And they get mixed up a lot.
I
Are you-
guess so.
Yes.
Are you sure there isn't a zoo in Austria with a kangaroo? I mean,
Oh, okay.
I haven't been to a zoo
Yeah.
here with kangaroos.
we're
No?
gonna have to fact check that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if someone from Austria or someone who knows someone in Austria
It's fake news.
could clarify the kangaroo situation,
Yeah.
we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to get too sidetracked here. So let's get into Omicron's remix. This is their entry. This is track number 6.
Yes.
So yeah, without further ado, let's
Omicron.
give it a whirl.
Oh yeah.
Open waters, you changed the course in my darkest hours, sending signals back and forth. You called on me, and I came through, and I came through. And I came through. And I came through. You gave me love. I could feel the sun rising up. If not for this and for us, not just because you called on me, and I came through, and I came through.
Nice, nice, nice.
Nice.
So
Love that
different.
Austrian sound. Yeah.
Yes. I also love that all 6 are quite different from each other, and yet still based on the same song. Funny how a remix competition works.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. Wouldn't have thought.
Big up Omicron in the chat. I'll kick us off here. Somebody in the chat called out sound design. Control V, Control copy paste.
Yeah, no, it's Control V. Yeah.
Is it? Thank you. That's one of the things I wrote down as well. I really like the sound design. I really like the drums and the particular kind of rhythms that are kind of sprinkled in there. Really like that you guys made changes to the vocal arrangement so it wasn't sort of exactly in the same arrangement that it was from the original. Somebody else mentioned as well that sort of the pitched down vocal in the build-up. Love that. Totally unexpected. And as I mentioned before, I have this like weird fascination of how.
I have made that mistake probably 5 times so far. I have to remember to hit
No
play.
worries.
Yeah.
I'm just obsessed with how my voice sounds when it's like pitched up or down, and I love that you threw it in like a very clever way where you're not expecting it. But it's in that and I came through kind of part. Love that. Definitely a really cool build up, and the drop is awesome. Really, really great job, guys. I'm gonna give this a 9 for composition. We'll do 9 for arrangement as well. Definitely kind of kept moving and changing, kept me going, and then an 8.5 for originality.
Nice.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah. Was really blown away by the sound design. These guys are just top notch in terms of their serum game. If that's what you guys use, I'm just gonna take a wild guess
a little
here.
serum in there, yeah.
Yeah, it might be. So, I love the sound design. That, once again, I guess you would call that the Austrian sound. I don't know what else to call it. In terms of those gritty Reeses, those hard bass stabs, I loved it. Drums were fluid. The energy was just, they kept the energy running throughout the track. And if I was on the dance floor, I wouldn't be stopping that dance. So, great job, guys, Omicron. I think this is the only thing with drum and bass tracks is, and there's nothing wrong with it, is a common issue is that most arrangements are that typical kind of build up, body, break, body. Nothing wrong with it. It delivers the track. But yeah, I just thought it's a good use of the typical kind of structure, but it did the job. So I mean the overall vibe was great and kept me engaged with the track. So in terms of the composition, I just love this sound design. The drums were great, so I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Arrangement, I will give it an 8, and then overall vibe, I'm gonna give it a 9. Super dope track.
I am agreeing with you guys again. Weird, I know, but no, Omicron, you guys did a great job, and I realize it's una fusa rather than una falsa.
Wow.
I read that wrong, so my apologies. I don't actually speak German, but I try. So, composition, yeah, it's basically it is exactly what you would expect out of a neurofunk tune. No, it's not even really a value judgment. That just is what it is. Like it's laid out in a way that would mix very well into other tracks, and that's great. That's a virtue, right? You don't want to be thrown for too many loops because like Sending Signal's the original. Good luck mixing that.
Sorry.
I've tried. I've failed. I think probably 10 times. So there is something to be said about making it like compatible with other tracks. So fair enough. The one thing that did stick out to me again is a few vocal timing things where it was shuffled around or like digitally stretched into different shapes that didn't quite catch my ear in a positive way. Not very egregious though. It's just a couple of little things I'd like to see moved on the grid, like 1/16 or something like that. It didn't quite hit. But that was really the only thing I could possibly complain about. I mean, the sound design is very, very good. I appreciate that it doesn't sound like serum the entire time, and that it does have a lot of good textures, and like they've really tried to push all of these interesting like movements out of the synth and then not try to just make it so that it's like very stock drums, very stock sound. Like it sounds original and like them, and I like that. I can hear them. I just couldn't help but laugh at the profile picture of like they even have the Neurofunk producer profile picture. They're both facing opposite directions on rocks. Like
It's a great photo.
literally, this is the most Austrian group I could possibly think of. That's great. So, and look at that, right? How could that not be in a poster? But I digress. The composition for me is going to be an 8.5. So well done. The arrangement loses a bit just because some of those vocal timing issues, so that's going to be an 8 from me. In the originality, I like where they took it. I like that it sounds distinct, that there's some cool little switch-ups and breakdowns and that type of thing. So that's going to be a 9 from originality. I like the direction they took it.
Cool.
Also, just want to mention, somebody mentioned here as well as a little bit earlier, how interesting that musical tastes are truly so subjective, and this is something that I experienced when we were like judging the first 64 entries, which is that, you know, in my first time being in a remix competition as well, I thought it was really fascinating the tracks that me and Stranger liked, for example, but that Tyr didn't, or the tracks that Stranger and Tyr liked but that I didn't, and the way that we got down to the top 10 was that we all had to agree, which is why you might seeing that we are like a little bit agreeable with each other in some of the feedback, and we don't want to like repeat the feedback, but getting to the top 10 was really, really interesting because like there could be a track that I really liked and then these two guys didn't either, and so it's almost like artist subjective, but it's a really, really interesting experience, and really appreciate everyone's sort of feedback as we go along in the chat. I'm super curious to hear kind of what everybody else thinks as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always it's fun to read along with the chat. I try not to watch it while the track is playing. I don't want that to influence sort of how I'm starting to think about the track necessarily, but I think there's been a lot of really great input so far, and good like talking points too, and so big up the chat.
Shouts out to everyone in live chat. You guys have all been really, really awesome feedback in there. Definitely like it. Like I say, we're building a great community here, and you guys, we're all in this together. So awesome that you guys are being there, supporting each other. So shouts out to everyone out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and big up Alan for facilitating all that. We wouldn't be where we are without your amazing and hard work, so you deserve a shout out as well.
Big up
Thank you, man.
Stranger. On to the next, we've got contestant number 7, who is Colossus, a British drum and bass artist in the north of England. He's had a passion for music from a very early age, and at 14 was making his own music on his parents' computer. Don't we all know what that is like? Shortly after leaving college, his track Under the Weather was promoted by Liquicity, and that was the boost he needed to begin releasing music with labels like Soul Deep and Celsius. Definitely interesting how getting on one kind of channel could really help your exposure and give you that boost, so definitely
big time.
Agree. Around the same time, Colossus launched his own label, Rush Records, with some local musicians, which he ran for 4 years, and became a resident DJ at Jungle Jam and Overflow, where he supported artists like Andy C, Technomatic, and more. Big up Colossus. Later, he had a bit of a quiet period, but was honing his craft and studying towards new horizons, taking a master's degree in the art of music to the moving image. Fun fact, now he does scoring and composing for independent media alongside his electronic music shenanigans. That said, let's get into some electronic music shenanigans.
Yes.
Big up K2T, Karan in the live chat.
Shenanigan levels will be maxed out. All right, here we go. Let's give it a try.
Out on open waters, you changed the course in my darkest hours, sending signals back and forth.
Love that 808. Yeah, I heard that too. I love it when those chants come in.
Hello.
It makes me just, as Aaron Payne says, raise up your elbows.
Awesome. Do you want to go first on this one?
That's pretty. That's
There you go, putting you on the
changing
spot.
up the
Yeah,
format.
yeah.
Huh? I can't just sit here and agree with you the whole time.
Not today.
I think the live chat wanted us to change it around and see
it's all good.
see what happens.
All good. Yeah, sure, no problem. So, yeah, great track, Toby, and you're absolutely right. How it's just I like that he found a bit of wind early and then really decided to keep going with his music production, because it sounds to me like this comes from someone who has written a lot of music, if that makes sense. Like it sounds developed, and it sounds like something that was stewed over for a long time, not only just in the track itself, but like the approach to making music itself sounds different than a lot of other entries that I've heard so far. And that's not me putting down the other entries. Like well and truly, he did a good job. Here I go again.
There we go again.
Not knowing how to use
Tease
Ableton.
each time.
No, I swear I know how to use software. Anywho, but no, great job, Toby. There's a lot in here to like. Literally, the only thing that didn't strike me as being like my favorite thing is that "Hey" chant. I've heard it. I don't even know how many times, but that comes from a particular sample pack whose name escapes me. But that's a well-known like trap sample. If that wasn't there, honestly, the track would be benefited a lot from it, because it takes me out of the experience of hearing Toby's music. So other than that, and I mean, I have to find something in there that I didn't like, because otherwise there is a really lot to enjoy about the track. So yeah, the composition for me is very, very good. That would be a 9 for composition. The arrangement is really, really good too. It's very original. It's fresh. You don't get stuck in like a vibe for any particular amount of time, and yet it still feels cohesive, which is very hard to do. Like, how do you make 4 or 5 different movements in the track and not have it feel like it's just a new track, right? Like, that's the million-dollar question of writing music, I think. That's gonna be a 9.5 for arrangement on me. And the originality, I mean, again, very original, cool take. It borrows from some well-known structures that we all have come to love and enjoy in music, but he still does give it his own little thing with little bass stabs, with the kind of like, I don't even know, I guess, what's the word for something when it's not in a key? Chromatic. Like the chromatic chord sort of droops that come in there with the big saw hits. Those are cool. Yeah, there's really a lot to like in here. I would call that a 9.5 on originality. So I enjoyed that track very much.
Nice, high scores.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with Tyr.
I hated it.
No, I love this track. It's funny when, like, early in the part of the track before those like hey things come in my mind I was thinking this would be a really sick track that makes everybody want to go hey like at a show, like if this is like the final track or something,
Baked in MC.
everybody's like on the dance floor and everyone's like hey like, it was, like, this totally, and then that actually comes into the track, so it was like as though the track was like reading my mind, so that was really cool. So I love the hey-hays.
Love the hey-hays. Can we caption that?
Love the hey-hays. Love the build-up. Yeah, totally unexpected drop there. Love that he used a lot of your bass stabs in there. Definitely takes you on a journey. Love the sparkly synths. I feel like I'm floating in a dream at the club and everybody around me is like, hey. And Sodi, yes, love the harmonies in there. I also, when I heard those, and yes, Aaron Payne Tyr's vocals were in some of those harmonies, that hits my heart so much. So I love that those were brought out as well.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be a foreground element of all things, because I recorded those just very quickly on this microphone, actually, just thinking, oh, well, Splice it in and whatever. Didn't want to ask you to come back here to retrack those, so I figured I'd just do it myself. But I was surprised that Toby, like, put it as, like, a foreground thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that actually kind of works. I was surprised.
I thought it was beautiful, and for those that don't know, so Tyr records all of my vocals in the studio, so I'm singing and he's recording and editing, and because he's really good at writing harmonies, he also often, almost all the time, will give me the ideas for the harmonies in the tracks, and then I sing them. But in this particular case, because he was also the producer, and as he said, it's just to kind of like save a bit of time, he just recorded some harmony ideas on his own, and I'm so glad you did. I thought it added like a nice chorus effect. I've always dreamed dreamed of having backup singers. So there you go. Yeah, I thought the vocal arrangement was super cool and definitely a creative take on just not the original vocal arrangement. And I'm gonna give that a 9 for composition, a 9 for arrangement, and a 9 for originality.
9 across the board.
9 across the board.
High marks.
Sweet. Overall, love that vibe as well. I love hip hop. I love trap. So when that 808 hit, I was like, yeah, let's go. So one of the neat things I liked was how he processed the main vocals. I heard some of that. So what I was referring to earlier about the haunting kind of house ghost vocals, when you pitch it down, this was done right. So he pitched it to the right octave. It had that kind of ghost element. I think he might have even layered a higher octave over it. So I did pick that out. I really liked how he did it, and definitely gave that kind of haunting vibe to it. So like that. I also like the sparkly sounds as well. I did notice that on the second drop, the ARP had a nice touch to it. So I thought just overall the composition was really nicely done. A lot of like interesting elements to keep us engaged, like that kind of like pitch down pad that comes in. That was kind of cool. That kind of goes off key. I thought that was really cool. Only thing that stuck out for me was I thought that every time the track dropped, it came up kind of abruptly, like it built, and then it went into it kind of immediately. I thought maybe it could have been executed better in terms of the arrangement. Perhaps a little pause or silence could have been introduced or something to help impact when that drop comes in. So that's one thing I picked up. I thought perhaps I'm big fan of kind of hip hop trap drums. I thought there could have been a bit of more fills, so kind of that trap glitchy hi-hat fill stuff. I thought it could have the track could have used some of that. But overall, I like the vibe. I like the hip hop vibe. It took me somewhere. It was a lot of nice musicality to it, nice elements. So in terms of composition, I will give it a 9. Arrangement, I'll give it an 8.5, and originality, I'll give it an 8.5.
Nice. Very high marks. Well done, Toby.
Cool.
Okay.
On to the next contestant.
On to the next track.
Yes.
So, all right, our next contestant, number 8, is, let me just fix the banner here, is Shaki. So Shaki is a emerging Czech drum and bass producer. He's an avid student out at D&B Academy. Shouts out to our friends at D&B Academy. They run an awesome YouTube channel as well, and they're doing a lot of sound design around bass design, so check them out. So Shaki has done some releases, self-releasing, including some collaborations with a French singer named Enlia. He also has his own YouTube channel where he creates music videos for his tracks, which is awesome. It's always nice to have a nice visual element to go with the track. It kind of keeps the listener engaged and kind of sets the overall vibe. So that's cool that you do that, Shaki. So fun fact about Shaki. For the most of his lifetime, he's been working as a successful manager in business without doing any music. I can definitely relate to the business side and manager side. I've been working as an IT manager last 12 years before I got into YouTube, so definitely appreciate that. And you also left your job 18 months ago and started, and at the age of 43, decided to quit and follow your dreams. So that just goes out to show you guys that it's never too late to pursue your passions, and if there's something you want to go after, you should go after it. So Shaki's living proof of that, so shouts out to him.
Yes,
Well said, because like with yourself, sir, if you hadn't decided to give it a try, who knows where you would have been. And I'm really glad
we
that
wouldn't
you
be
did
here
try.
today. Yeah,
Exactly right. So
yeah.
let us listen to Shaki's entry.
Awesome.
ocean waves, uncharted spaces. Keep steady, keep steady. Hey.
Cool stuff, man.
Nice.
Vibing.
But vibing, like, but as an emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man. Woo. I mean, Strange, I'm happy to go first unless you want to switch
go
up the
for
order.
it. Let's do
We're
it.
just
Go
tossing
for
all
it.
things,
Yeah.
whole formula.
Yeah.
Man, big up Shaki. This is definitely one I really liked. The like deep atmosphere, very moody, felt very surreal and like dreamlike. It felt very like the sun is coming up at a festival and everyone's dancing and smiling and happy.
Oh.
What's that like? So got goosebumps as a result from that. I really like you did something in the chord progression that was different from the original chord progression. I think something in particular like on the last chord in each phrase, and it worked really well with the vocal, like in particular some of the vocal chops that you brought out and changed the arrangement that wasn't in the original arrangement, like on the "and I came through," worked really well in the new progression. And then you highlighted that phrase, the "you gave me love," and that also like in the original was kind of like a secondary third idea kind of thing. It wasn't really the highlight or the drop or anything, but here you really kind of highlighted that and let it shine, and it worked so nicely with your chord progression. This is one of those tunes that really made me want to sing along and or like write a completely new vocal to.
That's high praise. High praise.
Yeah, it made me the vibes. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5 for composition. Arrangement 7.5, just a bit lower because it is, as probably you two guys are gonna say, a little bit more of your classic formula, but nothing wrong with that. And then 8 for originality.
Cool.
Tyr, you want to go next?
Hey, no problem at all with that.
Yeah.
Hey. All right.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I just intuitively, I feel like I liked this tune a bit more than you did. I think there's really something that he did here that very few liquid tunes do, which is that it kind of reminded me of Alex Perez in some ways in terms of how he structured those tracks, and Alex Price is one of the very few artists that I would regularly listen to Liquid from. Like Halogenics would be another one, like when he goes Liquid. And I think Shaki is definitely quite shockingly close to what those guys are doing for how they look at stuff, and I could hear a certain sort of musical maturity in there, and chalk it up to whatever, I don't know, the fact that he does have more life experience, or it's just the influences that he's taking. But I like that it isn't that he didn't just take the most obvious things out of the track and then essentially just keep them in the same place where they were on the timeline, but then just start copy and pasting elements in to make the arrangement work, but not change how the track itself is built. I like that clearly with some thought was put into how you can reorder the vocals and have them still make sense both thematically and lyrically speaking. Like it wasn't just like a jumbled mess of stuff that wasn't good. Like way to put everything together. So yeah, I mean the arrangement's like very standard DJ arrangement. We've had a lot of tracks like this so far, so I can't necessarily like take off points for that, because it does work for a set, and I could totally see this being played in a like, you know, halogenic-y type of set, like with lots of other layered tracks in there. It wouldn't interfere in a weird way with anything. And yeah, I can totally I know what you're saying when it came to the vibe, like of it being sunrisey type of thing, everyone's having a good time, like it's a wind down night type of thing. Totally 100%. Really the only thing that stuck out to me is something I didn't quite enjoy is the mix sounded like it was clipping at some points. I think he did push it a little bit too hard out of the output on the master, but that's easy enough to fix with some tweaks, so I'm not going to focus too much on that. But yeah, the composition was great. I liked the smooth and kind of flowing chords, so for me the composition would be a 9. The arrangement's an 8.5. No further explanation needed. It's well arranged. It works. It's good. And yeah, the originality would also be a 9 from me. I just like that it took all of the melodic harmonic elements out of there, took the best stuff, and then also added a lot of his own flavor in a really nice synergistic way. So it was good. Great job, Shaki.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the musicality of this of Shaki's remix. If your bio is correct, I just want to reference here. You you never did music before. I find it hard to believe until 18 months ago, because like you sound like a seasoned producer. Like it sounds like you've been producing for at least 5-6 years. So if this is
when I was 18 months
yeah, so I mean if that is true, wow, I'm really impressed, and you definitely have a future in this, Shaki. So I would say keep it up, man. You have a great ear for composition and having a good mix and just an overall vibe, right? So yeah, it was hard I couldn't really pick anything out in terms of this track that I didn't like. It just had that deep vibe, like you say, that halogenics kind of deep dark liquid. I liked how certain notes of the bass line was a little unpredictable. Some were a bit like a darker in tone and brought us to a different place. So I thought a great job there. So yeah, I mean nothing I can say about. I mean, I agree the arrangement is what it is, but like many drum and bass tracks, it just works, right? So, but I felt the vibe. So in terms of composition, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Arrangement, I'll give it an 8. And then overall vibe, I'm going to give it 8.5.
Nice. Yeah, well done, Shaki. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. All right, well, we've got
right.
2 more tracks to go, and before we do, we'll just flash those promo codes on the screen again for you guys, just to say thanks for tuning in. We've got some promo codes for anybody that's in the chat. Those are active until September 3rd. You'll get 50% off the Deviant Audio Bandcamp catalog, and that goes towards And that goes towards, just supporting Strange and everything he does, providing free knowledge and free content for, budding music producers out there, as well as 15% off of merch on flowanastasia.com, including this guy that's wearing the Sending Signals t-shirt, and then Strange up there in the top left, who's modeling very nicely. Anything that you guys buy definitely makes a big difference. But thanks also just for being here. Don't need your money, just need your good vibes, and thanks thanks for hanging out. So
Yeah, absolutely.
without further ado, we will pass it on to contestant number 9 out of 10, who
All right.
is onray.
Onray.
All right. Familiar
Well,
face here.
Yeah, so another familiar face. And for anyone who didn't know, that's his artist name is actually just a misspelling of his original print on his work name tag. They just skipped one of the letters, so it read as onray, so he just kind of ran with it. And then
Onray instead of Andre.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
That's good. Hey, he was gifted an idea and he ran with it. So for his bio, Andre's a Toronto producer, engineer, and guitarist whose love for twisting genres is only surmounted by his adoration of harmonic distortion.
Nice. That's a
Nice.
good bio.
Nice. Wow.
Now,
Harmonic distortion.
there's a bit of a hot take coming up here.
Oh, boy.
Under the interesting fact, in which says that he likes Schnitzel more than Mephius.
I don't know. So
Whoa.
I don't know if he means he likes eating schnitzel more than listening to Mephius's music, or if he likes,
I didn't even think of that.
or if he likes schnitzel more than Mephius
I
likes
think
schnitzel.
more literally, yeah, like the
We may
food
have to
item
put
schnitzel.
the two in an eating contest and a schnitzel eating contest and see who wins.
Yeah, nice hot take there. You probably are not wrong, from what I could gather from your interview. And by the way, you should check out her interview with Mephius that she did about a month ago. It was great, on Flow with the Show on YouTube.
Podcast.
Yeah, her podcast is awesome.
Check out her channel, Flow Anastasia, on YouTube.
Yeah, she does an amazing job. But yeah, you're probably right. You probably do like Schnitzel more than he does. He didn't seem like he was super hot on it. He liked it, but still. Anywho, the 1/4 time beat on the remix was originally an accident, and when messing with having doubling drum MIDI, he accidentally slowed it down too much, and it turned out the feeling was just right.
It's a happy little accident.
It is a happy accident. Not a lot of accidents are happy, so I can. I'm glad this one was. Let's check this one out. See what he's got here for his interesting take on sending signals. Let's give it a whirl.
Catching waves, uncharted spaces. Keep steady, keep steady. Pace.
All right, I think I'm gonna take the first take
Do
on this one
it.
this time.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Sure.
So something about Onray's sound that I picked up is that he's got this that kind of saloon vibe. I was trying to. I had the words in my head just now. I kind of lost it.
Opium den.
It has that kind of vibe too. It's kind of like. Yeah, it's like has this super slowed down half time. It's almost like whoa. It's like everything's moving in slow motion, but you're like just enveloped by that bass. I really appreciate that. It even has a bit of that pole dancing vibe as well. Yeah, if anyone's into that, or if anyone's ever been to a gentleman's club, then you might know the vibe. I'm not sure if
club.
Not sure if that's what Onray is going for, but definitely has that vibe. I think the words I had in my head was that, you know, when The Weeknd first came out with his first EP, like almost 8 years ago now. That kind of really, I hate to say it, but that drugged out kind of like saloon smoky vibe.
Yeah.
If The Weeknd were to do like bass music, this is what it would sound like. Yeah.
It's pretty high praise, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, Onray's sound design is just spectacular. Arrangement was dope. Overall, the vibe was dope as well. So, I would say in terms of composition, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Wow.
Arrangement, I will give it a 9. Overall vibe, it was cool. I'm going to say I'll give it a 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very strong praise. Would you like to go next?
You go ahead.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. A lot of good input there, and I agree with all of it. There's something very distinctly onray in there, and I think it is that like there's probably someone out there who has a good word for it, but it's that kind of digital like grain distortion to everything, how it's all been stretched out, like just to the point where it's almost about to fall apart, but it still works musically, and kind of the sludgy rhythm. And he did this for his last remix contest entry too, and it worked really well, which is that it's that kind of 87 BPM thing where it doesn't feel like it's at 170 whatever. It really does feel like it's halftime, not like a sort of attempt at it, but it really does stay down there in the sub 100 range, and like rhythmically that's how you feel. And that's, I find, a hard thing to do, because there are tracks that you clearly could tell the timeline was at 173, 172, where the percussion hits are all quantized on that grid in that specific way, but I get the feeling he really did type in 87 in there, and it made his decisions different in terms of where he would put the individual elements, where they would start, stop, how they would mingle, where they would kind of coalesce, and what have you. And yeah, as Rob Noah pointed out, a few little vocal timing glitches or whatever you call it here and there, that they were kind of ahead by a quarter note, and that threw me off for a moment. So small, but it was there, and I'd like to see those fixed. But minor stuff. It didn't take away from the experience too much for me at all, because it wasn't like and a big thing that I hear with 87 music is that the kicks are always really clipped and like over the top, and I like that he didn't do that here, because he let the rest of the music breathe and like do the talking instead of him having to rely on stuff that was over saturated and over compressed. I like that it was always like a dance around the one. Right? Jazz does that a lot, where you're never, if you stop paying attention, you'll lose the one. And you're rewarded for kind of keeping on with the rhythm and being on this sort of slow dance, this grind, this trudge through the music. But it doesn't feel like a hard one. It's like it's something that is a rewarding experience. So I like this approach to remixing stuff, where it definitely was clearly sending signals, but it also was clearly not sending signals too. Like it was its own thing. So very good job. Yeah, compositionally wise, I mean, there's a lot to like here. I've been floating numbers in my head here, but I'm gonna call the composition a 9.5 on this one. It was really, really nice. The arrangement for the weird timing things, and there were some instruments too that I thought kind of came in. I'm like, it caught my ear in a bit of a way, but it doesn't take too much away from me. So that's gonna be an 8.5 on arrangement. And originality, I mean, I've heard very little music like this before. Like this really does exist in its own category. And for that reason, that's Yeah, I'm fence sitting, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and give that a 10 on originality. It's
Wow.
like
Nice.
Toby's remix. It just doesn't try to be anything in particular. It's just gonna be its own music, and I like that I can hear
Yeah.
him in there, and it doesn't like have to be in a genre per se. It's just it is what it is, and that's hard to do.
Wow. Yeah. Really, really great job, onray. I love that this is one of those tracks that like would sound really cool to listen to both on headphones and like in a big system, like
Yeah.
with that bass that comes in, but like all his attention to detail, to just the little, this is what I love too about like atmosphere kind of stuff, where he's just like sprinkling in all these really interesting sonic ideas, and there's always something interesting to listen to, which I really like. That it kind of from beginning to end takes you on an ever evolving journey, and you really don't exactly know what's gonna happen. I will nitpick the vocal timing a little bit, but I do like that I heard him stretch some of the vocals in a good way as well. But yeah, a bit of it is a little bit off, but that's just nitpicking there as well. I just love that it's really experimental, and like I love that he also took inspiration from some of the lyrics. Like there was one moment I really liked where the lyric says catching waves, and then it's kind of like a silence drop off, and then comes in with something interesting. So definitely when I was writing that, and I was like, oh, waves, man, that's like a cool, like you could like, vibe. And I love that you can hear guitar in there. I think he said he's a guitarist, so I can only imagine like it sounds like he's playing some live guitar elements in there.
Yeah, it's cool to hear that.
So super, super cool. I am giving 9s all across the board for this one.
Wow. Nice.
Nice, very high praise.
Whew, and then going into track number 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, this is one that I'm introducing.
Yes.
So, big up Ljudas. It is spelled L Judas, that I've misspelled in the bio here, but it is pronounced Judas. He's a producer from Stockholm who started with hip hop when he was a kid, and then moved over to jungle drum and bass when close to university age. First old school vinyl release was in 2006 on Dirty Dubs with a remix of a Swedish reggae artist. That sounds cool. About that time, him and two friends formed a group called MIR Crew, mostly focusing on dub-wise drum and bass. They started their own label, collaborated with artists like UK Apache and General Levy, and released on labels like Shout and Ninja Tunes. With MIR Crew, they were also known as promoters and residents of one of the main drum and bass nights in Scandinavia for many years, and have played a large role in the Swedish bass music scene. That's cool. What's the Swedish
Nice.
bass music scene
I didn't
like?
know
I actually know the founder of the MIR Crew, so we hung out when I was in Sweden many years ago. So shouts out to everyone at the MIR Crew.
Sweet, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
big
Small
up,
world.
Big up to
Yeah.
the Swedish bass music scene.
Yep.
And funny fact here, Judas's first solo hip-hop releases were painstakingly copied onto 60 cassettes and then forgot in the kitchen of a pizzeria when stopping for dinner before the release party. He's still missing them. I don't know if that means he's missing them, like he still can't find them, or he's still missing and longing for them. Probably both.
Yeah, more than likely both.
Sucks. Oh my god.
Rest in
Damn.
peace.
That's something that I would do. I'm a little bit of a clumsy person, and damn. Sorry, homie.
Luckily, he's written more music since then.
That's true. Yes.
So,
Without further ado, Judas, here is his remix of Sending Signals, the number 10 finalist out of our top 10 finalists.
yes, the very last one. Let's give
All
it a whirl.
right.
Out on open waters, you changed the course in my darkest hours, sending signals back and forth.
Cool.
Nice. Jungle vibes.
Junglist.
Yeah, I love the comment that says I'm back in 1995 again from Nathan. That is so. It sounds to me like CIUT, which is for anyone who isn't from Toronto. That's like that. That's a radio station that plays all sorts of different music. It's a university one, but in specific, they have. How long has it been going on now? Like 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. Prophecy.
Yeah.
There's a show called The Prophecy where they play jungle drum and bass and like all sorts of other ones too. But especially there's a focus on that. I think the slot was changed, but it was every Sunday for a long time. And yeah, I just felt like I was right back in CIUT in a good way, right? Like it's such a rave, such a jam. It's a good tune.
It's a vibe.
But who shall evaluate first here?
Ooh, I guess I'll kick it off.
Yeah,
here.
go for it.
Yeah, definitely love that old school feel. Really nice kind of bass lines in there. I love that you stretched the vocal like in the pre-drop. That was very felt like old school, like done on like hardware, like
Yeah.
I like that Ableton kept that feature where you can stretch it old school style.
Yeah, I love that. So as you guys can tell, I love when my vocal is just like stretched weirdly and experimented with. So I really like that. Aside from that though, I think that most of the vocal arrangement was pretty similar to the original. So I would have loved to hear a little bit more manipulation, kind of maybe moving things around, chopping things up. But overall, super cool vibe. Loved it. I'm gonna do an 8 for composition, 7 for arrangement, and 7.5 for originality.
Nice.
Very, very nice.
I guess I'll go next, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, cool. So, as you guys may know, I'm a sucker for breakbeats and old school breaks. So, I love the jungle vibe. Love the different use of bass lines. What I liked about this, Judas, is how you kept it like jungly with the low end subs, but you were able to do it in a way that's kind of musical. That's sometimes that a lot of jungle, the bass lines, it's kind of missing that kind of element, but you were able to keep it funky and musical while keeping it sounding like jungle. So I liked what you did with that. There was some interesting sound design with some of the bass sounds as well. As I heard some kind of newer kind of influences with some of the bass design, so that was dope. So overall I thought it was a good tune. It had that 1995 raving vibe for sure. One thing I thought perhaps you could have introduced some other breaks in there, possibly an amen break in there would have been nice to just tease those junglists out there. Other than that, I thought it was a good vibe. So in terms of composition, I'm going to give it 8.5. Arrangement, I'll give it an 8, and overall vibe, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with both the guys. Alan, you wouldn't happen to know what that break's called, would you? I've heard it so many times.
I've used that break so many times, but I don't know. It could either be, I wonder if it's the Paris break, because that main break, If anyone out there knows,
encyclopedia.
Yeah, there really should be a break encyclopedia or like a break wiki.
I use these breaks all the time, but the unfortunate thing is the source that I got the breaks, they were just named like random values like PB 101 and that kind of thing. So I don't know the name of that break, but if anyone knows, I would love to know. So put us in the live chat.
Yeah, or just send one of us a DM. Like if someone finds out later, like I love to know the names of these breaks and where they came from. Yeah. Someone needs to make a break wiki. I swear. Wiki breaks. That's great. I love that. All right. So.
Alan did. Okay.
Yeah. So I really like this tune. There's a lot of good stuff going for it. I like that this kind of cassette vibe that it has going on. I mean, in all matter of fact, when I heard it kind of bobbing up and down, it sounds to me like this might have been made on a mixer, as far as I can tell. Like it kind of has it. I can hear those VCAs starting to die. Like when you push the bass really hard, the whole mix gets darker. And that's kind of fun. So if we can get any clarity on how much analog hardware was involved in that, I'd love to know, because it sounds very analog. And yeah, like I think the arrangement of it is pretty safe, but I also liked that it did drop out. There were some unexpected switch ups. Yeah, the whole thing was a vibe. Great job. The composition for me is going to be an 8.5. The arrangement I'd peg that at about an 8.5 too. I like that it kept me guessing sometimes, but it was also a lot of nostalgia, and it kept especially that doo like that rumbly, not Reese, but like the, you know what I mean, that
jungle
chorusy
bass. Yeah,
exactly. What a great bass. Used to great effect in many tunes. And originality, I would call on this one an 8. It has a lot of borrowed elements from existing structures, and that's not a bad thing, mind you. But I couldn't call it like a 9 or a 10 on originality, because it does borrow so much from the history of jungle. But yeah, I really like this entry. It's a true vibe. Great job.
Well,
Sweet.
well.
All right.
So we're gonna be telling some scores in the background here, but first, what's being in a live chat without some possible free stuff? So
Yes.
we're gonna do another giveaway. This one is for the Sending Signals shirt. The original track, Sending Signals, produced by Tyr Kohout with my vocals. Tyr's actually wearing the shirt.
I am.
It also comes in a black version. You can see it on the screen there. So for your chance to win, please give us a signal in the chat. Type the word signal, all caps, into the chat if you'd like to win a free Sending Signals shirt.
So we'll give them a minute to type it in. So I'm going to punch it in the timer right now. So guys, you have a minute to hit the word signal.
Signal, big up Niels, big up Florian, Cymatics, Marcus W, Polyedis, Kavaas, Nathan, big up. Yes, giving us signals.
Don't you want to look amazing? In the Sending Signals t-shirt, you're going to be the talk of all your friends.
Funny enough, Smeagol, lol. Funny enough, I don't actually typically wear white shirts, but I felt like this one kind of came out a little bit better on the true white. But for all you folks that like me, pretty much my whole closet is black shirts, including this jungle shirt.
Because you're so moody.
I'm an artiste. We also had a black one there. There's also a sweatshirt up on my website, but for today we're just giving out t-shirts. Give us a signal, won't ya? All caps, I think, is it case sensitive?
It is case sensitive.
It is,
yeah.
okay. You
Yes,
gotta give us
yeah.
a very loud signal.
All caps.
Yell.
Yell.
Bang on the walls in your apartment you are renting. Be annoying.
We'll
DJ
just give
Adam
them
G.
I'm just
says
giving
the
them
break.
10 more seconds here.
Sure.
Just so they.
Says the break is called Life Could Rotary Connection.
You
Damn.
were at the You're really good at organizing
Sure,
information.
I'm good at writing
Yeah.
things down.
I didn't know that, so tons of jungle records made with that break. So
Can
yeah,
we
if
send
that's
DJ
the
Adam
one.
some sort of download or something like that in specific for being such a champ and actually telling us that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Give us a shout, flowanastasia@gmail.com, DJ Adam G. UK.
Thanks, buddy. That's
Connection.
I always love when someone.
Oh wait, I think
knows
there's a
that.
little debate here though. Matthias
Oh.
says the break is called Romulus from a 90s sample CD.
Well, the sample CD had to get it from somewhere though.
Yeah.
I want to know what the track was originally.
Yeah.
So we'll fact check.
Yeah, we'll do
DJ
some
Adam,
fact checking
but,
first. Yeah.
Just to make sure before we send him anything, but still.
Oh, well, Matthias is actually Judas. So big up Matthias is the original fact checker. And he says
Okay.
it's zero hardware only able to.
Wow,
Damn.
that's very impressive.
Wow.
It sounds like it was done on like an Akai sampler and a mixer. Great
Also,
job.
Great job.
Sodi, yes, we actually have, so not necessarily tutorials, but we'll definitely keep that in mind. Tyr and I have 3 behind-the-scenes vocal recording videos for some of my other tracks, including one that was just out on UKF last month with Synergy, called Satellites. We have a
Those are great,
full
too.
behind-the-scenes. You can check out our process of recording, writing harmonies, processing the vocals, editing, creating vocal effects, and that sort of thing. But we'll definitely keep in mind like a proper vocal processing tutorial. That would be dope.
Yeah, I've thought about that because that's one of those things. It's kind of like giving someone advice to make $1 million. Like there's a lot of different ways you could go about vocal processing. So I think I'll need to think about how to give that information in a way that applies to the most number of people. Probably something to the effect of like microphone choices, thinking about gain staging and that type of. Like there's a lot that goes into just good vocal sound, but duly noted. I'm glad someone out there would want to watch that. So we'll look into
Nice
it.
one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So let's do this giveaway.
Yes.
All right.
So,
Signal.
Who is about to
All
look
right.
300% cooler?
yes. Let's start collecting the comments. And we have 26 entries. So let's hit the draw.
Good luck, everybody.
Signal. 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 Sorry. Okay.
Dum dum dum.
No. Oh.
Who do we got?
Steve P.
Steve P. What's up?
He is the coolest guy in his neighborhood.
Congratulations. Yes. Steve P,
Big up
please
Steve
please email us at flowanastasia at gmail.com, and she will kindly sort you the prize. So yeah, congrats Steve P for winning.
Woo.
Congratulations.
All right.
All right.
Oh man.
All right, so on to the main event. We have the scores are in, and it's looking
we
like
do?
a super tight race. So do we have
And
a
also,
drum roll here?
Oh, yeah. Did you have a drum roll effect on your computer at one point, Alan?
I did. Yeah.
That's okay.
I
That's
don't
alright.
have it on me right now, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
okay.
alright.
We can do a manual drum roll.
Yeah, we'll
So-
do a spiritual drum roll.
Spiritual
All right, okay.
drum.
Let's get that drum roll going, guys. All right. Okay, scores are in.
All right, let's take a look.
Whoa.
All right.
In first place, Theseus.
Wow, Theseus.
Wow.
And by a lot, too.
Man. Onray in second place and Colossus in third place.
Nice.
Wow.
Ooh, close fourth from Rob Noah. Damn.
Yeah.
Pinched
This was-
by half a point.
I have to say this was a very tight contest. All the entries were so brilliantly crafted. The talent was just top notch. So yeah, just interesting to see the results here. Congrats to everyone that just made it here today. I mean, you guys brought the talent, so you made a very difficult challenge for us to find a
Yeah.
winner.
Absolutely. I'm also just realizing that the top 3 winners, none of those tracks are like a drum and bass, like a true drum and bass.
Right.
Oh,
genre.
nice,
So
interesting.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, super amazing. Like again, this was such a special remix competition, and I'm just so thankful to not only the top 10 but also all 64 people that put their time and effort and emotion into going for it. Thank you so much for doing that. If you didn't make it into the top 10 or if you didn't make it into the top 3, please also send me an email. Just want to say thank you again. Send you a little bit of a small care package to show my gratitude. That's flowanastasia@gmail.com again. And then for the top 3 winners, I'll be reaching out to you as well. Huge. Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful. And thanks everyone in the chat for just being here and hanging out with us today. This is really cool to like listen to all tracks and kind of go into detail and vibe with you guys. We
Yes.
vibed. We gave
Yeah.
things for free.
Vibes were had.
Many vibes were had. And yeah, not only are we sending signals, but we're also sending love. I'm gonna
Yes.
get cheesy here for a second. I'm really sorry.
Oh, God.
I'm sending some love out there. Big hugs for you guys. Music for me is definitely something that gives me a lot of positivity and good things to focus on in a world that can be kind of scary and dark sometimes. So if you're a music producer, if you're just a music appreciator, music viber, thanks for hanging out with us here and just sharing in the love and sharing in the vibe. Thank you, Stranger, for having me and Tyr not only in the live stream today, but also, you know, getting a chance to release on Deviant Audio. Big things to come from Deviant Audio in the future, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And just thank you again, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I just want to just congratulate all 3. All you guys are winners to me, but just want to give a special shouts out to Theseus, who just took home the grand prize, onray, who came second, Colossus at third prize. I mean, this was super tight, so I just want to thank you for all the submissions. You guys did great work, and thank you to Tyr and Anna for putting together such an outstanding track and putting out such great content for you guys to remix. So if you guys don't know, Anna does a lot of the behind the scenes work for Deviant Audio, and she did a lot of organization to put this contest together for you guys. So just want to give her a round of applause for just for putting in the hard work and even putting that 100% and even just on top of that, just making great music. So just want to thank both of you for making great music and contributing to Deviant Audio.
Thanks, man.
Shouts out to everyone in the live chat for your support and for engaging with us. And yeah, we're gonna not sure what the next remix contest is, but like we definitely will do more. I think it's definitely something that helps the community, and it seems like you guys enjoy it as well. So keep posted.
Yeah, I'm so impressed by how much talent exists out there in the world at large, and ultimately the numbers on the screen here are just on one tune. And don't forget that for anyone that didn't score top 3, this isn't value judgment on you as an artist. This is one track of many that you will inevitably write, and keep moving forward and keep really trying to work on your craft. That's what Anastasia does, that's what you do, Alan, and that's what I try to do. And it's amazing to me to see people's growth and their journey along that musical frontier. And so I'm just very grateful to all the people that did decide that they were going to spend time on our little kind of scrappy contests and give it their best shot. And as it turns out, there was actually a huge amount of talented people that participated, and that's a really, really special thing. So all of you who sent us something on Audius deserve a big shout out, because it's not a small amount of time that it takes to write a good track that you feel good about. So big up all you guys.
Yes, and that's it. I guess should we I'll just share the promo codes for you guys as well, just
Oh,
to say
yes,
thanks
yes.
for being here. That's again, if you use the promo code Sending Signals, you can get 50% off of the Deviant Audio catalog on Bandcamp and 15% off of some merch on my website. All of that goes to just continuing to provide content for you guys, good music, good vibes, Strange's educational content.
It helps a ton.
Yeah, it
little
really does.
stuff like that. Yeah, we're not some big company. We really do appreciate every little thing that you guys are able to support us with, be it buying music, buying merch, whatever you want and whatever you enjoy. Yeah, it goes a long way, because it is just us three. You know what I mean? Doing this, and Alan has such a huge amount of stuff to do, and everything helps to help him give you guys more value and continue to help teach you new things and try new things. And yeah, massive appreciation to anyone who does decide to support us financially.
And if not, even an emoji is nice. An emoji goes a long way. Okay?
Yes.
So a heart emoji, a prayer hand emoji, a smile, a big up, that all that all goes a long way.
As well, make sure, guys, to follow everyone's social media. If you like our music, we have our links down below. Follow Tyr Kohout. He has his all his links are down below. Flowanastasia's links are down below, and all the artists have their links down in the links below as well. So make sure you follow everyone and support the artists. We definitely appreciate that. But with that said, I just want to announce that Sending Signals is the first single of Flowanastasia's anticipated album. We have another single coming out next week, and very excited about this one. Very, very excited. We have a huge name on this one. It's if anyone is familiar with drum and bass, we have a track by Flowanastasia and Nympho. So the track is called River Flows, and it's out August 25th, and you can pick it up on our Bandcamp, deviantaudio.bandcamp.com. You can also stream it on all your favorite platforms, so make sure you check that out. It's a standout track. I think you guys are going to love it. It's you don't hear a lot of drum and bass tracks like this, and they've really done something special. So, yeah, definitely, I would say keep an eye out for this track. I think you guys will be hearing this often on the airwaves.
Big time, yeah.
That's I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, it's definitely it's very different from Sending Signals. It's very Stranger described it as though you're in like a smoky jazz club. This one also features some of my kind of rap like spoken word kind of stuff that when I've done for other labels they didn't really like as much, but Stranger dug it, and I was very, very happy to be able to, very happy and grateful to be able to release it on Deviant, and then to get an info on it is massive. You know, you guys know that Deviant is quite a small Toronto label, and to have a name like that represent on our humble Canadian label is incredible. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's premiering this Wednesday on Skank and Bass, and we're also actually, just as an exclusive for the live stream folks here, we're also actually filming a live jazz acoustic version with a jazz band, with me singing and rapping, to give it that ultimate jazz club vibe. So that'll be a video as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of tease this a little bit, because you know, this is coming out this week, and it's the sort of the follow-up to Sending Signals. So yeah, thanks again just for all your support, and for staying tuned to what Deviant Audio has to offer, because a lot of stuff in the works, and just really, really excited about the community here. So lots of love. I'm gonna get sappy again, so I'm gonna cut myself off before I like. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you both for your great work making this happen, and really wouldn't have happened if you guys hadn't put the hours into organizing it, and like really putting proper time into getting all the back end of this organized, because it made all the difference. So you both deserve a shout out.
Big up to our sponsors as well. IK Multimedia, Cable Guys, Dubmatics, Renegade Audio, and Very High Energy Group.
Yeah, our sponsors are amazing. We only wanted to work with people that we really liked, and the brands that we use their stuff actively, and or in some way like made sense for us to work with them. And IK is an amazing company, and I love their plugins. They have, I think, every one. So it really made sense for us to work with them, and I'm really glad that they agreed.
Me too.
Yeah, shouts out to Cable Guys as well. Awesome plugins. If anyone's used Shaper Box, it's got an awesome effects box kind of tool. So if you guys are interested in that, check out Cable Guys. Yeah, shouts out to all our sponsors. Thank you for helping us out with this remix contest. Once again, thank you to everyone that has tuned in. It was an awesome show, and awesome to share all the remixes with you guys today. And thank you to all the remixers for putting your great work once again. Just outstanding work, and just overwhelmed by the talent. And once again, thanks again to my team. Big up flowanastasia, Tyr Kohout for your awesome work, and lots more in store. So make sure you follow us. If you enjoyed what we did today, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to my channel. I do music tutorials every week, and yeah, would love to see you again on this channel. But
Absolutely.
I guess without further ado, I guess is that a show, guys?
That's a show.
I think that's a show.
Awesome.
A flow with the show.
yes. All right, guys. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time, peace.
All right. Bid you adieu. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace.